Imagine a pistol round so legendary that entire generations of American soldiers swore nothing else could ever replace it. And then the U.S. military quietly walked away from it anyway. That round was the .45 ACP, and the cartridge that replaced it doesn't just match it. In many real-world ways, it outperforms it. The legend of .45 ACP. For over 100 years, .45 ACP was the American answer to one brutal question: how do you make sure the enemy stays down when you hit him? It was born out of ugly lessons from early 1900s combat, where smaller pistol rounds failed to stop determined attackers. John Browning designed the .45 ACP in 1905, pairing it with what would become one of the most iconic sidearms in history, the Colt M1911. Big bullet, big hole, slow but heavy. Roughly a 230-grain projectile chugging along at around 830 feet per second, delivering about 356 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. On paper, it wasn't flashy, but on the battlefield it had a reputation. Hit someone once, and the fight usually changed immediately. From the trenches of World War I to the jungles of Vietnam, the M1911 in .45 ACP became more than just a tool. It became a myth. Soldiers talked about its stopping power like it was magic, and Hollywood happily helped. .45s became the sidearm of heroes, gangsters, and every serious gun guy who believed bigger automatically meant better. But here's the twist. While the culture locked .45 ACP into legend, the battlefield was already moving on. The quiet breakup. Why the military moved on. So why would the U.S. military walk away from a round that worked for decades? The answer is simple, but almost nobody in the gun culture likes to talk about it. Logistics, ammo capacity, and the reality of modern combat started to matter more than nostalgia. First, the obvious problem. .45 ACP is big and heavy. A standard M1911 magazine held 7 rounds. Compare that with later 9mm pistols carrying 15, 17, even 19 rounds in the same overall footprint. Weight matters in combat. You don't just carry one mag, you carry several, along with rifle mags, armor, water, batteries, and everything else. Second, recoil and shootability. .45 ACP has a slow, heavy push that many shooters love, but under stress, with smaller-statured troops, rapid, accurate fire is harder than with 9mm. When the U.S. military looked at the entire force, not just big-handed experts, the question changed from "What's the toughest guy in the unit shoot well?" to "What can almost everyone shoot well, quickly, and accurately?" And third, the world went NATO. Standardizing with allies meant standardizing calibers, and 9x19mm, NATO was the chosen handgun round across most of the Western world. When you're fighting alongside coalition partners, common ammo isn't a convenience. It's survival and logistics sanity. That's how, in 1985, the Beretta M9 in 9mm NATO replaced the M1911 as the standard U.S. service pistol. More rounds, lighter ammo, less recoil, and compatibility with allies. .45 ACP didn't disappear overnight, but it was officially no longer the main character. The rise of 9mm NATO. And then something surprising. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The military didn't just ditch .45 ACP and stop there. They doubled down on 9mm. By 2017, the Beretta M9 was aging. The U.S. launched the Modular Handgun System (MHS) program and chose the Sig Sauer P320 as the winner, adopted as the M17 full-size and M18 compact. These pistols are 9mm again, but with a modern twist. Modular Fire Control Unit. The gun is a removable chassis, so grips, slides, and frames can be swapped for different missions and hand sizes. Better ergonomics. Adjustable grips make it easier for a wide range of soldiers to shoot well. Optics-ready architecture and accessory rails, built for red dots, lights, and modern fighting techniques. The services plan to buy over 400,000 M17/M18 pistols, making this the most widespread pistol shift in decades. And here's the key detail almost no one in caliber debates mentions. The M17/M18 aren't just 9mm pistols. They were adopted alongside new 9mm ammunition, XM1152 ball and XM1153 special purpose loads that take full advantage of modern bullet design. In other words, the military didn't just pick a new gun, they upgraded the entire pistol system. Ballistics Reality Check. 45 ACP versus modern 9mm plus P. Let's talk numbers, because this is where the .45 or nothing myth really starts to crack. A classic point. 45 ACP load. 230 grain bullet, around 830 feet per second. Roughly 356 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. Now look at a modern defensive 9mm plus P load, like a 124 grain jacketed hollow point, around 1,200 feet per second. About 364 foot-pounds of energy. Read that again. The hotter 9mm is matching, or slightly edging, 45 ACP in muzzle energy while using a smaller, lighter bullet. That higher velocity isn't just for bragging rights. Velocity is crucial for reliable hollow point expansion. Once you get above around 1,200 feet per second, modern bullets tend to expand very consistently in soft tissue and gel testing. Translation: 45 ACP, bigger hole by diameter, lower speed, solid energy. 9mm plus P, slightly smaller diameter, much faster, equivalent or even higher energy, and extremely reliable expansion in many modern designs. Now combine that with real-world pistol realities. Handgun fights are usually close, hectic, and involve multiple shots. If you can carry more rounds, shoot faster follow-ups with less recoil, and still get excellent expansion and penetration, the old 45 versus 9mm debate starts to look more like nostalgia than science. And remember, a soldier carrying 9mm can pack more ammo for the same weight. That's more chances to solve the worst problem a human can face. The logistics game: weight, ammo, and modern war. Imagine you're an infantry soldier already dragging 60 to 90 pounds of gear: armor, rifle, mags, water, night vision, batteries, medical kit, helmet, radio, and more. Now, add your pistol and ammo on top. Switching from .45 to 9mm doesn't sound dramatic, but across a platoon, the weight savings are huge. 9mm cartridges are smaller and lighter than .45 ACP. That means more rounds per magazine and more total ammo carried for the same weight. In a world where the Army is also fielding heavier primary weapons, like the 6.8 by 51mm M7 rifle and M250 machine gun for overmatch, every ounce saved elsewhere counts. The official strategy shifting toward lethality overmatch against peer adversaries like Russia and China means rifle and machine gun ammo is getting more powerful and heavier. The pistol is now truly a secondary weapon, a backup. When rifle ammo gets heavier, you can't afford a heavy low-capacity pistol system on top of that. So 9mm isn't just a ballistic choice, it's a logistics multiplier. Lighter ammo, more rounds, less recoil, easier training, easier qualification for a very diverse force. All of that matters more to the Pentagon than whether a meme says 45 ACP knocks a man down in one hit. The SIGP 320 platform, more than just a caliber swap. The caliber change gets all the internet drama, but the platform change is just as important. The Sig Sauer P320 M17/M18 brought a modern, modular approach to handgun design. One serialized fire control unit can drop into multiple grip frames and slide assemblies. The military can issue different sizes, full-size M17 or compact M18, without changing the core guts of the gun. Armorers can maintain fewer unique parts and still serve a wide range of missions and body types. That modularity lines up with a broader trend in U.S. small arms. The M7 rifle, the Mk22 multi-caliber sniper rifle, and the Coast Guard's Glock 19 MOS all reflect a shift toward adaptable platforms over single fixed configurations. In other words, the pistol is now treated like a configurable tool, not a sacred cow. The caliber had to fit into that modular, NATO-friendly, high-capacity, optics-ready future. 9mm did. .45 ACP didn't. Are you still carrying what you want, or what actually makes the most sense for how gunfights really happen today? Drop your answer in the comments. Are you Team .45, Team 9mm, or will you never give up your big bore no matter what the data says? If you learned something new about why the military quietly walked away from .45 ACP, hit that like button. Share this video with a friend who still swears 45 or nothing, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the gun myths nobody else wants to question.